Cinephiles are the ones that are going to be telling you, and they might have a point, but like, this must be seen on the big screen. No, it just must be seen. And it must be seen when I'm sitting my ass on my couch, and it must be seen in my living room on this TV I blew a fortune on. That's how it has to be seen. God damn it. I'm telling you, I'm sick of the theaters, man. I'm sick of it. Let's see if we can get into some kind of good news. Is there a silver lining to any of this corona stuff that's going on? Possibly. First of all, James Bond didn't help. He kind of fucked it up for everybody because everybody was like, "Ooh, shit! I can't wait to see Bond back in action." Bond didn't take no shit from anybody. Except Corona. He started growing like,
bow down.
I'm out. That was one villain I ain't.
y'all got who? Okay, now I got to go.
Yeah. You know what? He won. I'm sorry. You know what? Funny. I was just gonna turn in my resignation today. See y'all. Thank you. When everybody looked at James Bond, they saw him turn around and leaving that Corona behind. Yeah, you know, all that badassery just went out the window for them. They said, look at James Bond walking out the room like a bitch. Where y'all going? Where everybody going? Everybody's like, shit, I'm going with him. I'm hanging with James. Shit, if James Bond is running from Corona, shit, I'm running too. The whole movie moving to November, No Time to Die. Once James Bond did it, everybody did it, man. You know, James Bond was delayed until November, and they even tried to say, well, listen, you know, traditionally our boy James, he usually comes out around November and does his thing, so that's not a big deal. We're just kind of we're going back to the pattern, at least with these new James Bond here. And then your boy Dominic Torelli said, wait for me. Hey James, we family. You know?
I don't know you.
Yeah, get off me, Mike. Yeah, man, we do spies shit together, man. Come on. Yeah, man. Once he left, back a year. So it's almost gonna be a whole year before we see this. Yeah, man. There's another movie everybody was gonna look forward to. We were gonna review this week.
It's okay. We're okay. That's okay. That's Dad. Where? Mom. Oh my God.
Like, Dad, Corona's coming. Dad gonna be all right. We getting out of here. I should have just been getting out of this movie a couple hours ago. A Quiet Place 2. A Quiet Place 2 was supposed to be out this week. I believe what's Friday? What's this Friday? It's like March 20th.
20th.
Yeah,
20th. Yep.
Yeah, this Friday, March 20th. This was supposed to be out. They don't even have a date for this. Don't know, man.
Depending on how long this this Corona thing is around and how long people are scared to have people gather in places, what would they do with this movie? How would they be able to show it?
Well, exactly. So they're putting up dates, and we don't even know if those dates are still going to work. I mean, we hear things floating around. By May, this will ease up, or they got a vaccine that they'll have ready in about 3 or 4 months, maybe 12 months. We don't know, but we don't really know when. They set these dates. Will November work for James Bond? Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they'll have to shuffle that around again. There's a whole year, fine. Moved them, and people said, something cool, sensible move. Now what we gonna do with all this other shit we sitting on? We got these ain't the only movies that were coming out. We got a lot of other movies that we gotta figure out what to do with. I said, with everyone staying at home, some of these studios, they have streaming services of their own. It's kind of wild, but what if they were to put some of these movies that were going to go to the theater? What if they just put them on streaming services? Corey, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Universal came and said, wait, but hold on, wait a minute. Let's hear him out. Go on. They Universal. I feel like maybe they listened to me. Someone actually took me seriously. Universal, NBC Universal, Starting as soon as probably this Friday, they're going to start releasing what were going to be first run, theatrical, exclusive only movies. Now they're going to have them on demand on certain streaming services. And we're talking about movies first, because y'all thinking that's probably some straight to video shit they were gonna do anyway. You know, yeah, there's some shit people didn't want to watch in the first place. And no. They got some movies that are some that have been out for a little while, but still out there making money.
Show yourself.
Surprise.
He says, I'll show myself on demand. That's the Invisible Man right there. See, y'all were thinking like, oh, they probably gonna do some shit like Tales from the Hood 3 or something. You know, putting that on streaming.
Leprechaun in the Hood.
Leprechaun, again. A new Leprechaun movie or something. Nah, man. No, they're putting that's the Invisible Man, which is still making money out there.
I saw it. It was good.
Yeah, in the theaters. Yeah, it was a good movie. I didn't love it, but I thought it was good. And now you can watch at home and see for yourself. Movies that just came out last week.
Every year, a bunch of elites kidnap normal folk like us. Where'd they get you from? Wyoming,
Mississippi.
Orlando, and hunt us for.
Yeah, it was for sport. That is The Hunt, controversial Blumhouse movie, action thriller. Some people say horror. I'm gonna go with action thriller. But this just came out last week, and now it'll be available probably this Friday. Now you're saying, okay, well, like I said, man, that's cool. Those movies are fresh, as in fresh out in the theaters, but is out. Let me know when I can see something that ain't out in the theaters yet. Let me see something that I can see on the day that it actually hits the theater. Something that I would normally have to leave the house to see it, and now I don't on the first day. They say, you know what? We got you.
I want some new shit. I don't want that old shit.
I'm gonna unite the 6 strings. By the end of my world tour, I'm gonna turn all the trolls into rock zombies.
Oh, are these trolls gonna be able to defeat that bitch? Well, you can find out at home. And you can find out for the low price of $20. You can hang out with these trolls right here on an adventure. Yeah. You're like, no, wait a minute. No, I knew. No, that's a lot of money right there. Well, yeah, it is. I like the way, now wait a minute. Shit, I'm in the but I ain't paying that much. This is probably great for families and groups, especially if you cannot leave the house now. No one's going to the theater right now, but it costs a lot of money to take your family to a movie. $20, that's pretty much just barely getting in one person. You know what that is? $20 is your ticket and a bottled water to go to the theater. Maybe in Texas. Ours is like, not in New York. That's your price to get in.
That's your ticket to get in. That's your ticket to get in certain places. Yeah, that's your ticket.
That's your ticket.
$20, that's a little bit much. Only ways I'm like, it's like, I understand the rationale behind it. Like, if you go out, these are kind of the prices you have to pay anyway to go there. But I'm home. I mean, it's hard to kind of, differentiate the two. You know what I mean? When you're sitting home in your drawers and you watching this movie to justify paying $20 for it.
Well, I mean, you know what? If you have kids and you're gonna take them to the theater, and you can't take them to the theater now, it was gonna cost you a lot of money probably to take one kid. You got to pay for you and your kid to get in to see this movie. It's gonna cost a lot to go to the theater. It's gonna cost a lot to pay for snacks. It's shit. That's an investment now. So $20 to watch this at home, make your own food. Now I have to deal with assholes in the theater. It's not a bad deal. Especially if you can't go to the theater because no one's going to be there anyway. Which they say they're still releasing this, but who knows how that will change. Listen, I got my opinions about paying $20 for a first run film. I think it's a cool thing for certain people.
Yes.
Especially if you're like me and you don't like the theater experience. When I'm sitting in the theater watching James Bond, I don't want to hear some old people telling me every scene and asking for what happened. I don't want to deal with those people. There's theaters in town where they have fixed the seats and redone the whole thing, and that screen is still just as dirty. The bulbs are still lit dimly. The staff ain't gonna do shit for you if you're having a problem other than just bringing your food. You know, I am not a theater person. I tell you that. A lot of people say, well, if you're not a theater person, you don't like to see stuff on the big screen, you're not a real movie goer. You're not actually a real movie lover. Okay, f you, I'm not. You know, I don't. You're not gonna shame me. I don't care. You take your ass on over there. I'm talking about me. Here's my question for you. You know, so people who don't even like to go to the theaters, maybe this would be worth it for them. $20, you could probably bring some friends over. You bring 3 friends over for to watch a movie. You know, you divide 3 by 20. You know, I mean, you know, you're pretty much getting a good deal if you know people can come over and do that. I want to ask you if you think this will be successful. And the reason why I ask that because if this is successful, it could probably change things. Theaters have been trying, or studios have been trying to do this for years. I remember they tried this a few years ago with this particular movie that made the news when theaters said, we're going to actually release this on home video or streaming or on demand at the same time as it hits the theaters.
You the little seizure boy that's having them seizures all the time.
No, you would have seizures on a regular basis, and all the kids would be crying, and your eyes is rolling back, and the foam and coming out. It was,
you know, that's what happened with the theaters. Eyes rolling back, and the foam was coming out the mouth. They said, "You ain't gonna do that shit." No. We running things around here.
Again?
What's that?
What movie was that again?
I'm sorry. That was Tower Heist.
Oh yes.
They tried to pull this off with Tower Heist a few years ago. It was from the guy that did Rush Hour. I forgot his name. I think it was the guy that did Rush Hour. Theaters fought them, and now theaters are like, hey, government says we got to do this safety hazard, so you know. So now they're putting it out there, and once a demand is created, here's the question: Can they stuff that genie back in the bottle if that happens, or will things be changed permanently from this point?
Yeah, I think you make a good point because now that everybody's got their hands tied behind their back, that them being the movie theaters where they can't have people congregate, you know, now the field is wide open to have all these streaming services and these other studios with their services, you know, try this experiment out. For the theater to come back to them, to go back for the theater and the film studios to go back to the way things were after this, if this thing is a success, which I think it can be a success depending on which movies are being out in between this time. I don't think Troll is going to be the one to push them over the heads to do this.
Yeah.
You know, I think they need something a little bit stronger for them to do this. There's going to need to be some sort of incentive, you know, when things go back to normal, hopefully soon, for people to say, you know, forget it, I'm going to go to the theater and watch this. It's going to have to be a case where somebody needs to have some exclusivity to watch this, to have this first and run it for a week, 2 weeks first, and then let it go to the other platform, whether, you know, the streaming service has it for a week first or the movie theater has it for a week first, and then it goes to the other one. Because that's the only way I see this kind of the two entities coexisting.
Yeah,
the theater and the home service.
You got
so But to answer your question, yes, I see this. If this prolongs and they have the right movie or the right movies to do this with, I see this being, you know, almost the norm now.
I see the price being a little too steep myself.
$20. Too much?
I think 20. I mean, you know, who knows? Like I said, if you do it the right way, you consider the value you're getting. If you're a family, that's fine. You know, I don't know. I'm just cheap, but
I know.
I do think some things would change. I do say some things would change, but no, I'm cheap as a mother. I tell you why this is affecting me. I'll tell you how it's affecting me personally with that price, and it's just me being greedy. It's me being cheap, a cheap ass. But NBC Universal is making the big news right now, but if you were paying attention to everything, there are already big players out there doing it. Now they've been doing it with things that are just leaving the theaters, but they had plans to give it a bigger gap. Frozen 2, when the coronavirus hit, Frozen 2 was on Disney Plus. Disney's like, we have our own platform. You know, nobody's gonna be going out probably we don't even know if people are gonna go out to buy DVDs right now and Blu-rays and whatnot. So let's go ahead and just put that out there early. They also did it with Rise of Skywalker, man. Now, I heard that this might be limited, but I think they might have changed on that. I think it'll stay on Disney Plus. I'm not sure. Creeping in there. You know, the theaters, and this is not me saying this because I'm against the theaters, but they are slowly losing that grasp. The thing is, whether you like it or not, distribution and streaming and now pandemics are changing everything. And this model is going to shift at some point. I don't know how it's going to be in the long run, in a couple of years. I don't know when, but it's going to shift. It's going to change. That whole thing of seeing things on the big screen, man, yes, IMAX is awesome. IMAX is amazing, and if you can do it, that's fine. But some people are saying, I really don't need that. I paid $3,000 for this kick-ass system I got at the house, and I ain't leaving that mother. I invested in this. I'm staying in, getting every penny out of this. People are actually making home systems that kind of rival what millionaires did back in the day.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Best Buy that made that shit, a reality now. Technology has made that a reality. People are like, I don't need to see that shit on IMAX. I need to see that shit at my house.
That's right. Millionaires on a budget.
Yeah.
Everybody got one.
Yeah, people don't give a anymore. Only cinephiles are the ones that are going to be telling you, and they might have a point, but like, this must be seen on the big screen. No, it just must be seen. And it must be seen when I'm sitting my ass on my couch, and it must be seen in my living room on this TV I blew a fortune on. That's how it has to be seen. God damn it. I'm telling you, I'm sick of the theaters, man. I'm sick of it. You know what? Yeah. You hire people who will actually go in and do their jobs and make it a good experience for everybody. I go see movies all the time. They tell you this shit. They put it at the front of the screen. Please turn off your phone and please be kind to others by not talking. And people like, you hear this? Tell me not to talk. Shit, I'm gonna do what I want to. Oh, hold on, I got a call. Hello? I'm sick of that shit, man. Yep. And then you gonna tell somebody on the staff, could you actually take care of this person? Oh, I'm not really trained to do that. Okay.
Thanks.
I want to hear this shit. I wonder how it's gonna affect the press. Listen to me. I'm being upfront with you. I decided to do this whole critic thing so I wouldn't have to pay for movies. Do you understand? So, I know this probably, and I'm being greedy. I want to see Trolls for free.
It is.
Are you, as somebody who is part of the quote unquote press, will I still get my free movie? Will I get a link? Will I get a link with my name in the middle of the screen? I can deal with that. Because I ain't paying $20 to talk about Trolls. I'm going to tell you that right now.
That's true.
Yeah, shit. I'll make my own Trolls movie and review that shit. I'll use those little dolls and shit. But I'm not paying $20. That's me being greedy and somewhat a little self-centered. Yeah, I know. But how is it going to affect the press? Yeah. Will we get screenings for this through a link if we can't go to the theater? And if this is something that becomes the norm, will I be able to get screenings even when you start showing them in the theater? Because I've been begging for that for years. Please don't make me go over there with those people. I really don't want to do this. I remember at one time they said they would never do this. So here's a little bit of history, folks, from your old Uncle Corey right here. So you can get all kinds of clips online now from YouTube, some Daily Motion and whatnot. People do this all the time to make their clips or their videos on YouTube. There's even a service out there that I got on 2 years ago where they finally start offering the clips in digital form before YouTube was even around. Back in the day, they used to send us big ass tapes, and you had to have a big ass deck to play it in, and you had to do some recorder to recorder type editing for these things, man. This was back in the day, and they said we will never make these clips available online because they're copyrighted. We don't want people using them. And now today, they encourage people, take our clips, put them in your videos, get a million hits, and give us some attention and some marketing. Who knows? Maybe one day they'll make a service where if you do not want to go to the theater, maybe there's a subscription service that you can use to see first run films if that's your choice.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I don't even know if it will change that much for you, Corey, only because, especially with different type of movies that want to get that buzz out there, I think they'll still have those links and those special things for you guys to go see, regardless of whether it's going to be in the theater or at home. Service everybody for that, I believe.
Okay.
You know, it'll only behoove them to do that anyway. They need that good press. They want that good press. They want that good word of mouth. So I think you'd be okay with that. I think.
I like the way people say, "Bring back the drive-in." So I want to get out the car and rub against your dirty ass and get sick. I can see that. I can see that. I can see that, man. Also, how's it going to? Let's just say the system changes, and you are renting first-run movies at home, movies that might be great. Do you know what that does to my rating system now? Like a rental's not going to be in the same thing anymore because a rental might be a great movie that you can see at home. It's like what's my rating going to be? Worth getting Corona? I don't know. Some people say here's a good point, and then we close out. Piracy. What about piracy?
Yeah.
Keep in mind this: you have Netflix, Hulu, Spotify. You have all these services where people are paying for it, even though they can easily record songs. They can easily probably record movies off of Netflix. They found a way to get around it. You know why people don't do that? You know why people don't even pirate some of these movies anymore, or some of these shows? Because they've made it convenient. Mm-hmm. No one's going to do this much if they make it convenient. You're always going to have some people out there who either have a good reason to say, I'm pirating this because I live in a part of the world where I'm not getting this. They're going to pirate your shit. Some people are just going to be cheap. Some people are going to be poor and they can't afford it. Whatever's happening, somebody's always going to do that. You minimize it. And that's what they're probably to do with these first run things. No one's really going to actually, I don't think it's going to hurt as much if they make it convenient for people. You price it well, you make it easy to get them. People rather do that than sit around going through hoops trying to download shit. And old people don't even know how to do that shit.
True.
They had a whole collection of songs from the 70s. I saw this commercial when I was in Orlando. Donny Osmond and some other chick were hosting it. And they said, you can get all these songs on 4 CDs. And I was like, you can get all these songs on the internet, man. but it's old people who don't know how to do. They're like, I'm not the internet. Give me my CDs.
Plug and play. I ain't downloading. Download what? Downloading a goddamn thing.
What do you think about Black Widow?
I think it might be pushed to Disney Plus.
Not just back, but to Disney Plus.
I think they might do it because how this is expanding. We might have to live this until July, and at that point, the movie is supposed to premiere before that. So I don't see it's such a big movie and it's such an investment for them that I really don't see them pushing that movie a whole year. I don't know why. It's key. It's key for the revenue.
I think. Let me see. We're talking about Black Widow, y'all. This is the next big Marvel film.
But nothing lasts forever.
Yeah, especially today. Black Widow. If you watch that's the teaser trailer. But if you watch the full trailer, there's a lot of action in there. Yeah. There's a lot of spectacle. I have a feeling that they'd rather push this back than put it on Disney Plus. New Mutants, I can see.
New Mutants might definitely go to Hulu like it was always planned. Because Hulu, yeah. Mm-hmm. But my whole reason behind this is that if we're gonna get series like The Falcon and Loki and WandaVision and all those shows got pushed back a whole year, that's gonna delay the entire Marvel slate, and that's the only thing they have.
Oh, it's delaying the whole Marvel universe thing.
The whole Marvel, like Captain America was supposed to shoot in Puerto Rico. It got delayed because of the earthquake. Now it got delayed because of the corona. Loki also and WandaVision, they finished principal photography, but all the VFX, all that shut down.
Okay.
So they're almost a year behind schedule on all those shows, and all those shows are supposed to happen before the movies.
You think Black Widow might go to Disney Plus? Listen, I'm talking to you like you're crazy, but I had actually recommended maybe they'll do that. I actually said that myself.
But do you understand?
I understand completely. No, I do. Oz, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't disagree with cause. Is that a possibility? It's a strong possibility the longer this corona thing goes along. Mm-hmm. Also, we got to take consideration that they've said that all the Disney Plus shows that are coming out are all going to be interconnected. You have to watch those to watch the movies. Mm-hmm. So to bring it on there would kind of make sense if it's going to take long to do. Mm-hmm. Also, if all of these other productions are being pushed back, maybe everything gets shifted a year back, depending, where everything is. So, because I would say, excuse me, I would almost go definite. Yes, it would go to Disney Plus if all these other things didn't, all these other productions didn't stop as well.
Yeah.
Seeing as how everything is stopping, maybe everything will get shifted back. To keep the continuity. That's what I'm thinking.
That's a good point.
So it almost makes sense for this to go to Disney Plus just to keep up. Because that's kind of the corner they painted themselves in.
Yeah.
You want to have everything connected now, including the TV shows.
They can't.
This stuff cannot be out of sync. Don't be stupid. The only thing worth fighting over is a shirt from dtmerch.com. Thank you. I would kill for that black tee with the white logo, the classic black tee with the white logo. I will kill you and pour your blood into this cup right here and drink it. The blood of my victims. I will take your dead children and dress them up in these kids' tees right here. And I will call and brag about it on that phone with the phone cover.
Man,
damn right. The slides, I will kick y'all, put my foot up your ass with those slides right there. Yeah, thank you, Carlos. Thank you.